Hello everyone, how are you? Hope you are doing very well. So welcome to our science class. Today we will learn about mass. So listen to how much mass. Today we will cover page 354 and 355. If you are ready, please open page 354 now. Okay, first of all, let's read the question together. It says which has more mass, small book or large book? Why? When you check the picture, what do you think about it? Small book or large book? Before answer this question, let's check what does it mean mass. Mass is the amount of matter an object has. Sometimes it's hard to differentiate mass and weight. Sometimes we say weight instead of mass. So how can we differentiate them? While mass is the amount of matter an object has, weight describes how strongly the force of gravity pulls on an object. So this is the difference between mass and weight. So let's check my question again. Which has more mass, small book or large book? Why? What do you think about it? So the large book has more mass, right? Because it has more matter. How can I understand which one has more mass or not? I can measure it. While measure it, I can use a pen balance. So pen balance can be used to measure mass, right? How can you find the mass of a piece of clay? I need to measure it. Like we said before, we can use a pen balance because pen balance helps to understand the measurements. So we can understand mass of a piece of clay by measuring it. How could you find out if the mass has changed? In this situation again, I need to measure it, right? By using a pen balance. Okay. Let's check. It says mass is the amount of matter an object has. Remember, mass is the amount of matter an object has, and weight is how strongly the force of gravity pulls on an object. Okay, right now let's talk about these four objects. Okay, all those objects you just look at are made up of matter because they all take up space. So when you sorted the objects, you use their physical properties, like you see in this picture. Round because of their shape, colors, size. They represent physical properties. So you can observe or measure physical properties without changing the matter. Mass is the amount of matter in an object. It is a physical property that can be changed. So mass is also a physical property that can be changed. So if I want to measure mass, we can use a balance to measure mass. Good. Let's check the television first.
A computer is made of matter, so it has mass. The mass of this computer is 10 kilograms.
So this is an example of a pen balance. If I want to check its mass, a computer's mass, in this situation I can use a pen balance. So check this one, they represent grams. So it say in total the computer's mass is 10 kilogram. Let's check this part for ball. Let's click ball.
The mass of this volleyball tells us how much matter it has. The mass of the volleyball is 600 grams.
So it said the volleyball mass is 600 grams. We used pen balance again, but this time we put a small grams here when we compare it with computer mass, right? So what about a toy car? Let's check the mass of a toy car.
How much matter is in this toy car? Let's look at the mass. The mass is 1 kilogram.
For all subjects, I can use pen balance, okay? So it says the toy car's mass is 1 kilogram. So how can I measure it? I can put grams here. So when they get equal, I can say, okay, this is equal, so it means the toy car represents 1 kilogram. What about the
The
last
glass
one?
of this beaker is matter, and so is the liquid inside the beaker. The mass of everything together is 400 grams.
Okay, so in this one, this is kind of different. Check it. It says the mass of the beaker and matter inside is 400 grams. So right now we use pan balance again, but this time there is beaker and matter inside. Be careful. Actually, I measured two different things here because they were together. Right now, let's check your page. Okay, please open page 355 first. Okay? Let's check it. It say we use a pan balance to measure mass. The pan balance measures mass in grams. How can you measure the mass of the contents of a bucket? To find the mass, you have to use math. First of all, remember the first one. I measured beaker and mass inside of it, right? So, when I measured them, I found 400 grams. But this time, it's just asking for, what was it? Contents of a bucket. The mass of the contents of a bucket. First of all, I need to find the mass of an empty container. Right now this is empty, and when I try to measure it by using a pan balance, I can say this empty container is just, find the mass of the container alone, it is just 10 grams. Remember, this is an empty container. This is the mass of an empty container. So how can I find the mass of the contents inside of it? Let's check it. So first of all, there is container here and the contents inside of it. How can I find it? 50 gram here, 20 gram here, 10 gram here, and 5 gram here. So when I put them right now, they are equal, right? Check it. If they are equal, I can say the bucket, the container and contents inside of it equal this one. 50 plus 20, 70, 70 plus 10, 80, 80 plus 5, 85. So in total, if I want to find the mass of the container and contents, together it will be equal 85 grams. But it was just asking for, remember it, it was just asking for the mass of the contents of a bucket. It's not asking for the container plus contents. But in this one, I found container and contents. It's just asking for the contents. I know mass of the container and contents together 85 grams. And I already know mass of the container equal 10 gram. So in this situation, I can do subtraction to find the mass of the contents, right? So what I'll get? Of course, I'll get 75 grams, right? Good job. So let's check it. Why do you have to use math to find the mass of a liquid? Why do we need this? Math is all around the world. So you can't put a liquid on a pan balance. It would flow off. Because of this, we need to use maths. Okay? The second question is asking for, why did you have to find the mass of the empty container? Why did we find the mass of the empty container first before finding the mass of contents? So you will have to subtract this mass from the mass of the container and liquid to find the mass of the liquid, right? Because remember our question. First of all, I found the mass of the empty container, and then I found the mass of the container and contents, but it was liquid. Because of this, I cannot put the liquid on the pan balance. So I need to use a container. So it was asking for the mass of contents. In this situation, if I do subtraction, I can find the mass of contents. So it will equal 75 grams. Thank you so much. Take care of you.